What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us tonight for the hot seat. The reason the hot seat is on a Tuesday night is because on Thursday night, I will be in the car driving back from Indianapolis and then going to Deals in Heels, which is a program here in the city of Chicago that I'm an honoree because I wrote the foreword for the book Latinas in Real Estate. So it's a full day on Thursday, and we have Miss Tina Smith here from Memphis. Well, let me say this. I don't know if she's from Memphis. I know she is in Memphis, Tennessee, looking all fabulous tonight for the hot seat. And Tina is not coming here to play. She's already earned six figures this year, and she's doing commercial deals, and she can tell you a little bit about that commercial deal she sold. But we had the opportunity to spend a day together for a meeting of the minds at her local realtor association a few weeks back. And I've gone back through Memphis on my way down to Jackson, Mississippi. So what's going on tonight, Tina?
Hello, Marky. You are what's going on, because tonight, baby girl, I'm about to light your butt up.
Come on now. And I know you do not come to play. You are a woman with a mission. And one, I'm very proud of you for taking action, also for really being an avid volunteer and believing in education and the things that you are doing in Memphis. So I had to bring my little pen and notepad out tonight because I said I might have to write down a few things based on how I know you do what you do.
Well, I really appreciate you. I've been following you for some time, and what has really helped me out is to be around like-minded people like you that is serious about your business, and you have a very good spirit of bringing people along with you. So I appreciate that, because I have been praying on who to follow. I've had people that say, hey, Tina, I can show you how to improve your business for $20,000. And they didn't bring no value, Marky. And the volume and the value you bring is hands down, there's no competition.
Well, thank you very much. I did an interview because I just hired a copyright expert, and she says, what is one of the things that you want to be able to state that you provide? And I said, value. I want people to believe that I over deliver and that they have gotten their money's worth, and that I don't tell them how to do something that I don't do myself, or I've not had the opportunity to implement it. So you are a confirmation today.
Thank you. Well, I am ready to light your butt up. I started to get me a fire hat so I can turn it on. And I said, well, the questions I got for you, I'm gonna light you up. You a firefighter ain't gonna be able to put that fire out. Not tonight.
Not tonight. All right then. Come on. Now I'm thinking I need to go over to Party City and get me a fire hat for the hot seat.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. One of the top things that I want to ask, I heard you say it in one of our meetings. You said, I got 45 designations at one time. So I like to know how to get those 45 designations.
So you know what? The one thing, so I have today 64 real estate related licenses, designations, and certifications. And the first designation that I started with was the ABR, the Accredited Buyer Representative, because what I quickly realized was when I got my real estate license, and I don't think most people realize this, the pre-license course does not teach us how to sell real estate. And essentially, we're coming in with no entrepreneurship skills, maybe no sales and no marketing skills. And I swear that program was the foundation for my success because it gave me enough to get started, right? Mm-hmm. But the CDEI, which is the Certified Distance Education Instructors, and it is through a program called Arello. So when I earned the CDEI, it meant then that I could teach or had the credentials to teach in 45 states because 5 states do not recognize Arello.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a certified distance education instructor certificate program through Arello that put me in that position for 45 different locations at one time.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I'm definitely going to work on that. And I wanted to also ask you, how do you become a keynote speaker?
Ooh, that's a good question. And that's probably a whole program. But let me come back to break down because maybe some other people want to become instructors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the very first thing that we have to go back to is that every single state has its own set of rules and regulations.
Mm-hmm.
And in a lot of states, I'll give you an example. In the state of Illinois, all of our local associations can get their own school license. I would have to pay a lot of money to become a school. So in the state of Illinois, I'm not a school or a course provider. In the state of Tennessee, I'm a course provider. So that means that I can do my own program and give CE whenever I desire. So I came into the world of real estate education as a licensed pre-licensed instructor and a licensed continuing education instructor. The reason for me becoming an instructor is because my mentor, Frank Williams, told me that I needed to volunteer more and I needed to become a licensed instructor. But get this, he says, Marky, the instructor always stands at the front of the room. If you are the licensed instructor, they cannot act like they don't know your name. Okay, so that right there was all powerful. And so what I started looking at was, for the skill set, how am I going to earn the most amount of money? So you have your licensed, pre-licensed instructors, and then you have your real estate trainers, and then you have your keynote speakers. The keynote speakers is going to make the most amount of money per hour working the fewest hours. Okay, so I'm going to give you a mathematical equation and probably tell a little bit more of my business than I wanted to tell since you put my butt in this hot seat. So as a pre-licensed instructor, let's make the assumption that you earn $50 an hour. Okay. At one time in the state of Illinois, we had to take or teach 90 hours for pre-license over 2 weeks. So that means $50 an hour, 90 hours got me to $4,500. I decided to let go of my pre-licensed instructor's license because I can make that amount of money in 1 to 3 hours. So what happened was I was consistently falling back on, I got this pre-licensed instructor's license, and then that means that I'm booked out for 2 weeks instead of just really pursuing the dream to work fewer hours. So my mentality was, if I book one job, I can have 9 days off, right? I can get on a plane, I can go work 1 to 3 hours, and then I can have 9 days off. And we're booking about 100 days a year. So I looked at what the job description was. I started to acquire the skills needed. So the National Speakers Association, I'm a member of it. I've won contests with Toastmasters, but let me tell you the order I would do it. I would do Toastmasters. And then I won the humorous speech contest. And that really let me know that I could tell a joke from the stage. Okay. Because I don't think of myself, I'm kind of dry humor, matter of fact, tell it like it is, animated, but it can get some laughs. So that built the confidence, and Toastmasters might cost $50, $60 a year. And then from there, I joined the National Speakers Association. So the goal was, how do I leverage my time? What are the skill sets that differentiate me from a real estate educator to being a real estate keynote speaker? Implement that and start calling yourself a keynote speaker. But I want to say one thing. You got your pre-licensed people, and then you got people who teach designations and certifications. I am transitioning out of teaching designations and certifications because they too don't make it. They make more than pre-licensed instructors, but they don't make what I make, right? The other thing you want to do is own your own curriculum. So there's a young gentleman, his name is Pashan Julian. He's also a real estate educator of the year. All he focused on teaching is the pre-licensed course. So the Chicago Association of Realtors had reached out to me back in 2006 to write a foreclosure short sale course for them. And it's called Short Sales, the Result of Foreclosure. And they were going to pay me to write that course for them. And Pashan said, Marky, don't do it. He said, tell them you don't want to do the course for them, but you will license it and teach it to them. It was the absolute, it's in the top 10 pieces of advice anyone ever gave me. The first time, get this, the first time I taught that course, I made more money teaching it than they were going to pay me to write it.
Wow.
On a door split.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a door split with them. And that course went on to generate over 7 figures.
That's good.
Because we put that course into a 12-hour program, which contained 4 3-hour courses. And so I own all my own curriculum. Owning the rights to all of your content is also key. And I'm going to give you this last piece of advice because, baby, y'all got me telling all my dang on business. The quickest way to give yourself a raise inside of being a speaker is to publish a book. So when we had the 2019 Realtor Conference and Expo, I had just released my first international bestseller, which is the Modern Real Estate Professional's Guide to Success. Within 30 days of me becoming an international best-selling author, I was able to increase my fees by 40%. Now, I'm not saying I couldn't have done it anyway. I didn't feel confident to do it.
Okay.
So those are some of the things. You want to have a publication. You want to own your own curriculum based on the systems, the techniques that you've implemented. And for me, I started, and look, some people don't ever teach pre-license. I started off as a pre-licensed continuing education instructor.
Okay.
Toastmasters,
I wrote that down.
Yeah, Toastmasters is also, to me, one of the best value adds because it allows you to work through your ums, your ahs, timing yourself. What I am not going to do is go over. Because at the moment you go over, your evaluations go down. And a lot of times there are a lot of speakers, they just have to complete that last thought. The audience don't know if you completed the last thought or not.
Okay.
So I'm going to end on time.
Ending on time.
Yes, end it on time.
All right. Okay. That was great information. All right. I'm about to make me some money up in here.
Oh, that was rough. And Carrie wants us to do a course. And I'm like, I don't want to do a course on teaching other people how to become a speaker, right? Because it's a lot more detailed than that. But that's the solid foundation that if you take those steps, you can pivot yourself into being a keynote speaker. Okay.
Now, my next question, we talked about trademarks a little bit. Is trademarks and copyright enough in our world?
It's not enough when it's all public and people can copy and paste it. So let me give you an example. A fellow real estate, I have a course that I submitted to the state of Vermont. When I submit this course to the state of Vermont, I taught this course. It was a 3-hour continuing education course. And let's say I taught it 2017, 2018. A fellow real estate instructor posted the fact that he had a new ethics qualifying course. And the title was my class.
Okay. Right? Oh my God.
So I reached out to him because we're friends. And he and I almost had the same situation where someone wanted me to teach what he had wrote. But here's the difference. He and I had sat at a table probably 3 to 6 months before, and he had showed me his curriculum. So when I saw the curriculum, I knew it was his. And so I reached out to him directly, because what you're not getting ready to do is pit me against another or fellow instructor, right? So I reached out to him. I said, I want you to know that's the title to my class that I taught for the same state. And so he sent me his curriculum, everything. None of the curriculum overlapped. It was just the same title. So he then switched his title. So the reason I'm giving you that example is if it wasn't for the fact of us being friends on Facebook, I would have never known that they were using my stuff again, even if it was trademarked. And the fact that upon its creation is considered copyright, I don't have to spend additional money for that. I don't know who is using my stuff, you know what I'm saying? Unless we're connected in some form or fashion, or I start doing a Google search or I get alerts for it, right? So you can do it, but it's still not, it's not a guarantee to protect either the copyright or the trademark use.
Okay. And can you tell me, this session is all about money, is how to elevate yourself and get to the next level. And I'm all about getting to the next level and providing value and being relevant in this community, in our community. And so another question I have is, can you please name the best affiliate platforms that I can earn income?
Oh, okay. Yes. So Kajabi is definitely right up there at the top. Calendly is up there at the top. Canva is also up there at the top. One of the ones that I used to do, but I don't do anymore, and that is going to be Lead Pages. Was my number one before I went to Kajabi. Okay. Another way that I'm elevating the sales of my all of my books is through being an Amazon creator. So I'm an Amazon influencer and an Amazon creator. And there are people who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars off of their Amazon creator account. But I'll give you Candy Burgess has one, Steph Curry's wife has one, Portia. So all of these reality TV shows, they're all Canva creators. Canva creators. They're all Amazon creators and influencers who are talking about the products and services that they buy on Amazon.
Okay.
So that's that would also be another one.
All right, boy, we getting somewhere.
Yep. And here's what's funny. I just got an affiliate check from Kajabi this morning.
Oh, wow. How about that? It feels good to get those extra checks.
It does.
I understand what the realtors are going through right now in this market with the inventory being that it is. But you have always implemented other streams and other opportunities to us. And I encourage everybody to listen to what you have to say and start maximizing what you already have. And you are a contributor to me making my 6 figures. Do I need to write you a check?
No, you do not. Thank you for being an active member, right?
I wanted to ask you that now this is for realtors that's working out there showing properties. Do you feel like it's more important to obtain lenders to finance versus anything else? Is that important for them to line up these lenders so they can be able to better service their clients in all types of financial situations?
So let me go with yes. And what has happened in the last month due to the increase in interest rates, lenders are coming out of the woodwork trying to be our friends. Okay. So in the past 30 days, lenders have gone back to pulling broker metrics. They understand our productivity and they are trying to be our friend. Some of these people we have not heard from in God knows how long. Do not allow yourself to be used. Remain faithful to the people who have been faithful to you when look, in the midst of the refinance boom. What I believe, and let me give you a little background. I came into this industry as a loan originator. So I was a loan originator from 1999 until 2003 when I became a realtor member. I had my broker's license for about a year, but never used it. Okay. I was at one point doing both. I was a loan originator and a realtor on the same transaction. The reason I let my loan origination license go was because a lot of companies that originate FHA paper will not allow a realtor to also work for their company. So historically, I was just working for a mortgage broker, not necessarily a bank or a company that originated FHA paper. And so the reason you want to have lenders, and I've said this when we encourage lenders to do Facebook Lives with us, I want you to have a specialty. And when I think of you, I want to know what that specialty is. So when I think about a 203K, which is a purchase rehab loan, I got 5 lenders that come to mind. And that's the only thing they're coming to mind for. When I think of reverse mortgage, I think of a special lender. When I think of FHA 100% financing, I think of that. So you should have multiple lenders and you want to know the one thing they're good for. But here, this is where you have to think about the company versus the lender. Everybody knows that FHA say they will go down to a 580 FICO score. But we all know that every lender does not go down to a 580 FICO score, even if they originate FHA paper. What we also need to be very concerned with are the overlays that each lender has to the program, because that is what differentiates each of the lenders, not the loan originator, but what are the overlays. So yeah, FHA has minimum guidelines, but mortgage company 1 has different overlays. Mortgage company 2 has different overlays. So we want to know what those overlays are to those federal different programs, the Fannie Mae, the Freddie Mac, the FHA programs, because that is what's going to dictate if we get financed or not. When it comes to your lenders, I come from contribution with my lenders. Anybody's been to Chicago, has been to one of our events, know that we have the most fabulous events, most fabulous. And that is because I have a lot of sponsorship dollars. I am going to help my lenders generate buyer leads so that I can always come back and ask for favors later. So that's why I encourage us to also do those Facebook Live videos, or you can use Instagram Live, because at the end of the day, you want people to owe you favors.
Right.
I don't ever want to. I don't like begging. So when I call people, they're not hiding from me. They pick the phone up. When I ask them, hey, can we do so and so? They're saying yes. That's also why I'm going to be faithful to those same lenders when it comes to helping promote them or do a live that were there even doing refi boom, because we're getting a whole lot of new friends. And I'm not looking for any new friends. I'm not looking for anyone that at the moment the interest rates drop down, I don't see you anymore. Yeah. So you want to know that one specialty. And the more you have, the better, because now you also get to see what those overlays are and what are those little special things when you get that unique buyer, where this one lender, like right now, what's really big is same as cash. A lot of banks, because they've made so much money, are willing to essentially write you saying that you have cash or they'll buy the house.
Oh, I would love to know, is that one a guaranteed rate?
It's not guaranteed rates. It was one out of Spokane that talked about it. And when I was in Jackson, Mississippi, one of their lending sponsors talked about it. So I would say that each lender, the program is not more than a month.
Oh, okay.
And here's the thing. the reason they're writing these, because think of how much paper they have not been able, interest rates have gone up. Mm-hmm. So they were doing refis, but how much business in the past 12 to 18 months, they have not taken a mortgage on because they don't have a same as cash option. So now they're making those buyers competitive with cash buyers in the marketplace for the purpose of what it looks like as presented to that seller.
Yes, there's a company out on the scene now. I don't know if they work in your state. It's called Ribbon.
Ribbon? I haven't heard of it. Like ribbon, like the ribbon?
The ribbon, like a ribbon. Okay. Ribbon in your hair. And Marky, I have used them quite a bit in my brokerage, and we are able to compete. What Ribbon is doing, they are one of our partners. They are paying cash for the house with no appraisal. And as long as they have already verified that person has been approved through the lender, they will call. They have some special addendums for both parties to sign, the buyer and the seller. They will pay cash. I can get that deal closed in 2 weeks. And they will pay the appraisal gap.
Oh, really?
So, yes. So you may want to look them up, Ribbon Home. Yeah. So that's one of my little, that's some of my ammunition that's been helping me in my business to get me over the 6 figures. And now I'm going to ask you some personal questions. Personal. Okay. What is your jam that gets you moving in the morning? What's your favorite jam?
It's got to be house music.
House music.
Anything house music gets me going. And let me also say this: I listen to trap music, and so it either got to be house or it got to be dirty, like dirty.
So what? Like, give me a name. What? Every day I'm hustling, or what?
It could be every day I'm hustling. Yeah. Also, you know what's been working lately? Listening to the audio tracks inside of Instagram and saving them to create my reels. Because it's not long, but it's going to be a nice little clip, 15 to 30 seconds, and I'm pumped. So music is my jam. And if it's not that, on Sundays, it's definitely going to be some gospel music.
Yes. So who is your favorite gospel artist or most listened to?
Oh, let me look at him, honey. He got a gap in his teeth. He heavy set. Heavy set guy. He's passed away, but hold on, I'm gonna get him for you. Cause he is. Let's go in here because I done watched him probably more than anybody. And there's one song that I like. So let me go to, when you're doing that, let me go to my watched so that I can tell you this song. Oh, wait a minute. Subscriptions, library. Hold on. Download, watch later, new playlist. Hold on. I'm going to find it for you. Keep asking me the next question. I'm going to find the song for you.
And my next question is, which child of yours need more time than the other?
Girl, that dang on Skylar need all the time in the world. Skylar think the world revolves around him. So my oldest child definitely needs the absolute most time.
The first one.
It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And let me say this. I'm going to take some responsibility in that. And the fact that my mother forewarned me about Skylar. She said, Skylar think he your man. And I did that, and I take full responsibility. But Skylar think everything's supposed to stop when he shows up. Okay. Reverend James Moore. Oh, how I love Jesus. And let me tell you why I like this song. I had to go to summer vacation Bible school as a kid. Mm-hmm. And I remember coming home. I was every bit of 3 or 4 years old. And my aunt was like, "What you do today at summer vacation Bible school?" And I said, "I learned all about Jesus." And my auntie said, "You ain't learned nothing." And I broke out and started singing, "Oh, how I love Jesus," right? And my grandmama said, "I guess she learned something today." And so yeah, that's my guy right there. And I listen to him more than anybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that. That was beautiful. Yeah, I'm very familiar with him. He got some good hits.
He got
So
some
that
good
was
hits.
just one of the many.
And the Mississippi Mass Choir.
Oh yeah, Mississippi Mass Choir. And so name some, since we talking about people that make us move, can you tell me one or two people you follow for inspiration?
One or two people who I follow. Oh, I definitely follow E.T., Dr. E.T., Eric Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then who is Oh, I like Mel Robbins.
Okay.
So Mel Robbins, Eric Thomas. And let me say this. When I went away to college, my freshman year, my friends were mad because they said I never came to them to ask them for anything. They said anytime I needed something or wanted something, I always called home.
Mm.
My mother and my grandfather are my all-time inspirers. And because they're both deceased, I just carry them and their lessons with me. I can sit and just visualize the conversation that I had with them. My mother, she was a teen mother. She overcame, let me be clear, because I had to explain this because my mother, she was addicted to heroin, but she didn't start using drugs till I was 18. So my mother overcame a 15-year heroin addiction. When I just think about that, right? And I always had a fear that my mother would die in the streets. And she went away to St. Louis and she overcame her drug addiction. So my mother died from a brain aneurysm, but I wasn't sure if it was a brain aneurysm or if it was caused by drugs. So I made them run a tox screen on my mother, and my mother was drug free. She died drug free. So even though I look at these people, those are the stories of the fact that my grandfather came from Mississippi with one pair of shoes and holes in them, and he did not graduate from 8th grade, that him and two of his brothers all died self-made millionaires. And I saw how they treated people around them. But I would say Mel Robbins, because she's a straight shooter. She builds a lot of systems. And Eric Thomas, I just watched him today because he relocated from Michigan to California. His wife has MS. And she needs natural sunlight every day, but she was scared because they're renting a house for $11,000 a month. And he said, I can get out here and get $11,000 a month. I cannot extend your life. So if you need sunlight, I need to get you sunlight. Right.
That's beautiful.
Right. And it was just, we're not going to allow, he was like, what you think I'm going to do if you dead? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to figure this $11,000 out a month because you need to be in California because you need the sunlight.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I believe we got a lot in common. I believe you started working at 10 years old. Am I correct?
Did. Yes.
I did too. I was, I was up at 5 a.m. in the morning. I'm the only child, by the way. So I can understand where Skylar coming from a little bit, you know. We like to have our way. We think you should have all the time in the world for us.
Yes.
And so at 10 years old, I was working at a market basket making $60 a day. Now, I was born in 1972. Pac-Man came out in 1981, if I'm correct.
Because I was getting a lot of my money.
Right. So when at lunchtime, when I got made about $25, $30 in tips, I would go to the cafe across the parking lot and spend $20 in quarters in Pac-Man.
So you was playing Pac-Man for a long time.
Yeah.
Yes, you were expert. So I remember Leo Foster, his mom owned the Burglar Bar shop, and they put the burglar bars on our house. Well, she decided to open a game room because the Burglar Bar, the welding shop, was in the back of the store. And I was over there spending cash money every day. Then she decided to keep us there longer. She would sell some candy. So she had chips, candy, pickles, everything. Because now we hanging out and she getting all our money. I remember I think I worked 4 hours a day, made $5 an hour, $20 a day. And it just empowered me because I was able to get my hair done the way I wanted my hair done. And I was able to buy the designer clothes that I wanted. So the reason I had to start working was because I asked for one too many pair of designer jeans. And my mother was like, how much do these jeans cost? So we're going back to 1980, and I think they were about $40 a piece. And I wanted Calvin Klein, Gloria Vanderbilt, Sergio Valente, Sassoon, and I had them all. And she was like, girl, you don't have panties. You don't. And I was wearing a bra at that age. And she was like, you don't have bra. You don't have your raincoat. You don't have your umbrella. She was like, oh, no. And let me be clear. I gave her this list like in April. School starts in September. And she was like, you're going to start working this summer. And I need you to come up with a list. On the left side, you put down the things that you need. On the right side of the list, you put down the things you want. You will take care of your needs before you take care of your wants.
Oh, boy. Well, I spent half of my $60 every day at the cafe buying me a cheeseburger and spending about $20 in that Pac-Man machine so I could become an expert. And later on, Miss Pac-Man came out. So I was making money early, but I wasn't spending it the right way. At least I was keeping half of my money.
And look, when they was running all over the screen, right? You remember doing this because you're going to shake them off and you don't know.
Yes, that was some good old days. Good old days. I wanted to ask you, how do we create, and this probably may be something that you will teach us at a later time. I want to maximize my time doing the things that I want to do, and I want to be able to streamline offers. So one of the things when you were here in Memphis, we talked about uploading documents in the landing page.
Yes.
So I would like to learn how to upload documents in the landing page. So when I meet people, they can answer a question, name, address, copy of your driver's license. As you may know, some people, when they call on us, they find us online, they want to see a house right away. Well, that's not our standard of practice. You need to meet us in the office, or we need to do a Zoom meeting. And so learn more about your needs and what your expectations are, and allow you to know more about what our expectations are. So I feel like a landing page with where you're able to upload documents and get more information so we can cut out some of that time would be good. So, and also upload offers too.
Okay, so offers, I'm thinking would be the DocuSign, right?
Okay.
But what we definitely can add to our group coaching call, me showing you how to create a landing page where the person has to upload their ID, and how you would do that where they can upload those documents. So we can definitely do that. And if you have a checklist, like you got some other examples of what you want, then email me that so that I can also include it in that page. So you'll have all that documentation. It'll be inside of your Google Drive, and then you can download it and use that documentation as you see fit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not and yeah, we definitely did talk about that to streamline the process. It's kind of amazing to me why we don't get documentation. And I think I talked about this in our master class. As a loan originator, I was collecting all of the documentation and never meeting you at a property. The realtor meets a person at the property, but has no documentation. There is a total disconnect that we send all the information to the loan originator. And I get it for the purpose of financially qualifying a person. But what about the safety of a person? So the same information to me that a loan originator has, we need to have it as well.
Mm-hmm. We need to have it as well.
Right. And I know we can ask for it and get it because I was getting it. So there's no reason why we should not have their ID and we're walking them into a stranger's home. That just makes absolutely no sense to me.
You're right.
Yeah. So from a safety standpoint, let me put safety protocol in here too.
Yes, safety protocol. It could be a landing page for safety. I am now about to take my safe test.
Okay.
Soon. So I'm learning that the lenders that I have used in the past, some of them are not adhering to RESPA. I've noticed that when they're making loan applications, I'm not using them anymore, but because it just, you got to follow up with people, and that's very important in our business. When a person make a loan application and they haven't heard anything from you and have not received any documentation, that's a RESPA violation.
Okay.
You should have a notice of action of something, And so with that, I just want to make all things real estate where we're able to help people with obtain financing, educate people about the process, because I do believe as real estate professionals, we do need to know more about the lending process to make sure that that lender is servicing our customer and looking out for our best interest, because there's so many products out here. And I've known lenders to push just one product when they qualify for other products that's going to be more beneficial to them. So I'm learning, even if I didn't practice to be an MLO, I at least want that education so I can be better at what I do. And speaking of better of what I do, I want to ask you another question.
Okay.
What is your secret talent?
Secret talent. Oh, so I think you all know that I'm a 4-figured model. I think you all know that I'm a grill master.
Oh, grill master. Okay.
Yeah. So I was born and raised in the restaurant business. My undergrad degree is in hotel restaurant management. And I have been on a barbecue grill since the age of 12. I wasn't always on the grill between the concession business and the restaurant. So one thing that I have always done is I'm going to know how to make my money. Now, I don't worry about how other people do it. I'm going to know every aspect of how to make my money. So in the barbecue business, I know how to hand trim meat. I know how to make our barbecue sauce. I know how to season my ribs. I know how to cut my chickens. I know how to do everything, right? So I would come into work, and if my morning help was not there, I would go to the back and I would get me a 40-pound bag of lump charcoal and carry it over my shoulder. I would throw it into the pit. I would take 2 of them and I would use 6 logs. I take the day-old grease from the deep fryer and pour it over and light it, because it's going to take a while for the whole pit to catch on fire. And then I would come and lay my meat. That's the first thing I'm doing when I get to work, and I'm setting up everything else. Sometimes I had to clean the deep fryer, get the deep fryer going, bring out the chopping board. The last thing I was dealing with was the money, because I wanted somebody else to be on the premise before I went in the safe and pulled the cash out. So 100%, I'm a grill master. I can take on any man. I have served at the Blues Fest, the Jazz Fest, the Gospel Fest here in the city of Chicago. Thousands of people in a day. So that's a talent. Then the one that people probably don't know about is the fact that I love paper crafts. And so I do scrapbooking, origami, but paper crafts are my thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah. So if I wasn't doing what I'm doing right now, I would probably go back and have because I was in the concession business too. We had concessions for the restaurant.
Oh.
I would have a simple hot dog hamburger place where we would put unique toppings on your food. I would bring my steak burgers back that were dipped in barbecue sauce, and we would call it a cha-cha. But we put a mixture of onions, tomatoes, and jalapeno peppers after it was dipped in barbecue sauce, and I would melt that cheese on it, baby.
Ooh.
Baby. They were loving me. So I would have a very simple restaurant, and I would definitely have the best hamburgers and hot dogs on the south side of the city of Chicago.
So can we expect you to be in the Memphis barbecue, world famous barbecue contest, Marky?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I could do that because guess what? Brian Copeland out of Nashville, him and Dale Chumley have been to Chicago. They've gone to my family's barbecue restaurant, and they said it's in their top 5. So I think that I could probably come down to Memphis. We have a vinegar-based barbecue sauce. And to me, being in the barbecue business is another thing that I can close my eyes and I can go right back to doing it because I did it for so many years.
That's beautiful. I can't wait to eat your barbecue, Marky.
Yes.
See, you talking all this good stuff. Don't make me and Jason come to where you are and eat some of that barbecue because we will get down and travel all the way where you are to eat some of that good cooking.
So let me just say,
love to eat.
Danette O'Neill has been to my house. Joanne Poole has been to my house. Curtis Wright has been to my house. Bakel has been to my house. Bakel has been to my house. And so I've had, during leadership here in the month of August, I have definitely had a lot of people come and grace my kitchen table for some of this barbecue.
So you must be good.
I'm a Q master.
You must be the master, the grill master.
I am.
What is one of the biggest risks have you ever taken?
So I was in real estate, came in as a loan originator. I was burned out. I went and got a job at Pfizer Pharmaceuticals, which is kind of funny all by itself because my background is marketing, not sales. I went to the Chicago Public Library. They had a book there on how to get a job in farm sales. It was a little red book, like the book was smaller than this book. And so I brought the book home, implemented, updated my resume, everything. I told my mother I would get a job in pharmaceutical sales by February the 1st. Pfizer hired me February the 14th. So when I was in farm sales, I want you to keep in mind I was an unwedded mother. I had a company car. I had an expense account. I had 401k with matching. Okay.
That's good.
Good. I hated pharmaceutical sales. So I went to my mother and I'm like, look, I want to get back to real estate. I hate this job. And my mother said, she said, Marky, you're a pharmaceutical sales rep with no pharmaceutical or sales experience. Right? That's what she said. You ain't. And I didn't pride myself on being a salesperson. I pride myself on being an options person. She says, you can always go get another job. I pulled my 401k. I opened my real estate company with no real estate experience.
Wow.
And so I think that was the biggest, coming back into real estate, cashing out my 401k, and making it work, figuring it out. And the first thing I figured out was I didn't know nothing. And that's when I took that ABR course. And here's what made me stay. So I opened my real estate company July the 31st, 2003. I quit Pfizer September the 6th, 2003. In the month of December, I had a $24,000 gross month, right? I sat down and did that math, right? That means that it would have taken me probably 10 years in farm sales to get to $240,000. I said, I don't never have to go back. That was
That's
it.
what's the breaking point. You was like, that's it.
That's it.
It made more sense.
It definitely did. And what I've told people, because there are a lot of people who aren't selling real estate, one, because of inventory, but also because they haven't implemented the schedule in order to make the amount of money. They're not taking the activity, right? And I can understand if you're depressed, if you have anxiety, oftentimes it will render you motionless, right? You're not doing anything. There's nothing wrong with going to get a job. There's nothing wrong with going to get a job. What is wrong is if you go get the job and you don't come back.
Right.
Right. If you don't go, you get a job, you don't put any money aside, and you don't come back and fulfill your dreams. Now you might get there and realize this ain't your dream. You might have a different dream, right? I thought that I would like pharmaceutical sales. I knew relatively soon that I didn't like this. And I've never looked back. And it was probably one of the best decisions I made. But yeah, and let me tell you this, the other choice, I did not make it. It was a choice that was made for me. So I was born and raised in the restaurant business. I owned the trademark right for our barbecue restaurant. My father sued me. I had to countersue my family. Being sued and starting all over was probably one of the most traumatic experiences of my life, because the barbecue business was all I knew. I cannot thank my father's sister enough. Had they not sued me, I would not have known what I was supposed to really be doing. And I've known for 20 years now that it was a blessing. Within 2 years of me leaving, I knew that it was a blessing. And so I was forced, right, to live my best version of myself. I was mad that first year. Oh, I was mad as a junkyard dog. I would have whooped her all up and down my block, right? By the time we hit year 2 and I'm driving a brand new Mercedes, I bought myself one for my 30th birthday. I bought a timeshare in St. Martin. I'm in St. Martin buying jewelry. I'm like, you know what? Girl, they did you a favor. And now I have the great joy of telling them they can't even afford me. Gone, because you can't even afford these rates over here. Not consistently, you can't. And it's a joy, right? Because they did me a favor. It was really done, I would say, to harm me without any care or concern for me or how I was going to take care of my child. And when I walked away from that situation, I had one goal: don't ever ask them for nothing. And that is what happened.
Yes.
Nothing. Nada.
Yes. And you have never looked back since.
Never.
And you know, when you know, when you're working, you know, dealing with family, when you're successful, you know, they can try to bring you down. Some of them will, you know. Yeah.
If you let them. And I would say one thing that I don't talk about a lot is the fact that I get the whole family over everything. That's not my concept. You have family members that are not supposed to go with you on the journey because you are not coming from the same mindset. I happen to have a lot of cousins. We are not coming from the same mindset. I have 3 younger brothers. We are not coming from the same mindset. And so what I'm not going to do is step back. That we're not doing that. Now, I take you with me. Okay. But that means we keep moving, right? We ain't stopping. And I'm not gonna let you drag me. Like so I'm gonna drag you before I let you drag me. And so that's just the mentality. And at this point, some of them have accepted that. At other points, then people try to make you feel bad for not living your dreams because they gave up on theirs.
Right. Right.
I'm not doing that. When I close my eyes, when my time is done here on earth, I will know 100% I've lived the best life that a marquee could live. And that's my goal. And to never be a physical or a mental loafer. That's my prayer all the time. If you give me mental clarity and physical endurance, I am going to make it do what it do. Because see, at the moment that you lose your mental clarity, you don't know if you coming or going. You don't know what it takes to function. I sold Zoloft and I sold Aricept. And I understand what anxiety looks like, what depression looks like, what dementia looks like. If God grants me mental clarity and physical endurance, I promise I'm not going to be lazy.
Amen to that. Amen to that. What is the best compliment you've ever got?
Wow. So I would say I have a testimonial folder. And let me say this, I would say your compliment is right up there in the top. When people have taken something that I've shown them and they've implemented it and it's improved their life. That is, and when they're willing to share it. So today, my managing broker and we did a podcast recording, and he said, because Marky has been my coach. She was my coach before she came to the company. And it just warmed my heart that he says, when I implement what she says, I always make more money. And that's my goal. I'm pissed when people don't implement. So I'm never going to be upset because you implemented, because you took the time, right? And you implemented it and it had a financial impact. That's the greatest compliment anyone could ever share. And the second one would be that my children are a joy to work with.
Oh, for me, when you gave us the instructions on what you wanted us to do in Kajabi, like you gave us links to start a course, to create. I created T-shirts, and I have a tagline: faith it and you will make it. You introduced me to Redbubble. So I have shirts, I have iPads, skin pads, I have tumblers, I have footies, and I created all that. And it's because of you. Those ideas, you've shown me to stretch myself. You know, when you're uncomfortable, you're growing.
That's the only time growth occurs.
Right. And you put it out there. Everything is organized in Kajabi. You've got everything organized in the calendar. I personally, one of my weaknesses was organization. And I'm still working on it. I'm still work in progress. I'm not on the Marky level yet, but I will get there.
Yes, you are.
Because I'm committed to the process. And so that was another contributor to me making six figures, is because I had to think about my time and what's best use of my time and how to maximize the most out of my time. Everybody get the same 24 hours, just like Marky does. Yeah. Don't complain about the money. You can make money too. We all get the same 24 hours. And so the calendar. And so I said, look, if you want to do business with me, you need to go to Calendly and schedule an appointment. And that way I can see what I got going on for the rest of the week. I can say, hey, I got Marky to work with this week at such and such time. I have time to be with Jason. I scheduled my husband, the time between him and I. So it really is important to have a calendar. And those systems that you've taught us, all the different systems to save money and time, that's free, sugar, free.
Say it again. Free sugar.
Free sugar.
Free sugar. Hey. That was funny because that was another subject that I talked about, the ability to be able to create a premium brand leveraging free tools. And I didn't want people to come in and then still have to spend a boatload of money. So every time I can find a free tool to help us make more money, then we're going to figure out how we need to implement these free tools. And let me say, every free tool is not going to help us make money. But if it was one tool that I would tell anyone to implement and I was slow to implement, that would be Calendly. Calendly connection to Google Calendar, connection to PayPal and Stripe, connection to Zoom saves me 15 minutes per appointment. And imagine if on any given day I have 4 appointments. That means that it's saving me 1 hour per day. What is the value of time? Oh, I don't know who it's owned by, Tamika. I have to check that out. I know there is a calendar system that is Black owned. I don't know if it is Calendly, but I will tell you, it saves me so much money to implement it as a tool in my business because of all of the different APIs in which it connects with. So every time someone goes to my landing page, it's sending them a Zoom link, it's sending them a calendar link. And if they if it's for a paid service, it's going to pay me as well. I love it.
I love it. I love it, Marky. I love it. I wanted to ask you this. What's something that you longed to believe was true, but later realized it wasn't?
That I believe was true. You know what? Lizzo. She has defied so many things that I didn't think we should do per se.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that I need to do it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you can put your butt out there the way Lizzo put her butt out there, and I'm not going to just say Lizzo. I'm going to say Lizzo. I'm going to say Jay-Z. I'm going to say a lot of celebrities. People have us under the perception that you have to look a certain way and act a certain way in order to have success and money.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen everybody have success and have money with whatever their skill set might be. Mm-hmm. You don't have to look a certain way. You don't have to act a certain way. But you do need to fulfill a need and or a want. They're, let me say what word, healthy women, okay, who have longed to be naked in public. And Lizzo is definitely their is their example, right? Mm-hmm. Music, Jay-Z being a drug dealer, and it's drug dealer after drug dealer. It's homeless. It's everybody, right? Mm-hmm. Who they believe in themselves, they making a way. So I had a strong belief that things had to look a certain way, that you had to have, a certain amount of education. And these are false. These were fed to me by, my ancestors. And that's just simply not the case. Mm-hmm. It's not the case. And so know that you can be successful, and we shouldn't have all these stereotypes and predetermined views about anything, because I'm seeing people define them every single day.
Yes.
But Lizzo, every time I see her, and now she got her own Spank skin shaper company.
Yeah, body shaper.
Body shaper. I said, well, come on, girl. Come on. Right. And it's a need for it, right? And so every single day I look at Lizzo and I think back to the fact that I was always the overweight little girl, and that she inspires me to step out, keeping in mind, and this is what I had to tell everybody, I'm going to always be the teacher. So I'm going to carry myself all the time as the teacher. But I think that I don't necessarily approve of everything that she does, but visually she's empowering and generations of women to be free in their body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You weren't expecting I was going to say Lizzo, did you?
No, I wouldn't. You know what? You always keep us on our feet, okay? Yeah. With your hairstyle, with your looks, with your t-shirts, okay? You always keep us guessing, honey.
This came from the Realtor
Community
Conference.
love.
Yep, community love.
Yes, and I love the fact that you serve, because that's important to me. I like when I meet people and they want to be in my circle, I want to know, are you serving? What are you doing? And I love the fact that you give so much of yourself to other people. And I am so grateful to be in your circle. And because you just don't know how you have improved me in so many ways. Even we talk about health. You've talked about your health. And I say, you know what? In this industry, in real estate, people will run you raggedy. They feel like real estate is on demand. You know, and this is not real estate on demand. This is not an escort service. This is business. And you cannot let people run you down. You got to think about your health. And the calendar that comes into play. If you plan everything, you don't have to be rushed going from one appointment to another, skipping meals, skipping medication, and skipping picking your child up, getting somebody else to do it all the time or whatever. So health is very, very important. And you've mentioned that. And I like how you balance everything out. You balance out your time with work and you making sure you taking care of yourself. And you've shown us that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Woo. You got any more questions for me for this hot seat?
Let's see. I believe I got a countdown for you.
Oh,
and so the countdown is real quick. It's like one word answers. What person would you trade places with for a day?
Michelle Obama.
Weirdest job you ever had?
Nail tech.
Something you wish you were better at?
Singing.
Oh, okay.
Because I can't sing.
Who is
but
your
I wish
celebrity? Who is your celebrity crush?
Lawrence Fishburne.
What?
I like him old, baby. I liked him for 20 years.
Woo,
so yes.
He a tall, fine man.
Yes, he would. Mm-hmm.
Who would you want to be stranded with on an island?
Oh, me and Oprah.
Okay. And I think that's it. That's all the questions. You have answered all my questions. It's been a great hot seat. I believe I even have everything copied on a card. I don't know if you can see this.
I see it over there on the side. I got you. Hot seat. Come on, put that fire on it. So now you know what I wrote down. I am going to go and buy me my little fireman outfit, y'all. So I'm going to go on over to Party City. They should have one there. I'm going to put it in here. We're going to have a whole little uniform. So you gave me a whole new idea, and I appreciate it. Make sure that you all go and submit your questions. I'm going to put it up tomorrow for our group coaching. The group coaching will be on a regular time. If you need anything, please feel free to put it into the group